great story. Probably absolutely one of the first customers I ever started banking. He came to me. His request was an extremely small business loan. It really wasn't, anything larger than a car loan, but it has grown over the 8 years that I've been here. He has thoroughly succeeded and has become one of the best customers of the bank. He's loyal. He refers business to me every day, every chance that he gets, and that's cool.
Thank you, girls. Thank you for standing. I would like to introduce Reverend Bob Schroeder, the pastor of Hillside Christian Church, who will give our invocation. Pastor.
Thank you. Join me in prayer. Father, today we're grateful to live in this country and in this city, and to know that each and every day you care about us as individuals. So our prayer today is that your blessing would be on this meeting, bring wisdom, spirit of charity, and help us, Father, realize that you are the provider of all, and we honor you in Christ's name.
Amen. Pastor, thank you. Can you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have the privilege of reading three proclamations. We'll come down first. We're going to begin today with the Building Safety Proclamation. With all those that are working with that program, please come forward.
Five more minutes.
That's what you're angling for. Look at your shirt somewhere. The lady from Northern stand by.
Do you know these people, Scott?
No.
They aren't claiming you either, so. I think we're going to have to put some ballast on the other side of the building. We're proud that we have such great people working with our city to protect us, and this will be an important proclamation for us. Whereas the buildings where Americans live, work, and play, and go to school each day are among the safest in the world, protected by implementation and enforcement of building safety codes. And whereas, although we often cannot foresee or prevent dangerous situations such as fire and severe weather, the presence of thoughtfully written building codes and the diligence of building safety professionals often prevents such events from becoming tragic. Code enforcement officials, building owners, managers, architects, engineers, and manufacturers of building materials all contribute to building safety. And whereas during the month of May, the awareness campaign will be conducted to reinforce the importance of building safety and the many individuals who contribute their invaluable expertise. And whereas Building Safety Month, code officials keep you safe, the theme of Building Safety Month 2013 encourages all citizens to learn more about safety and pay tribute to all who work in this field. Now, therefore, we, Mayor and City Commissioners of the City of Amarillo, Texas, do hereby proclaim May 2013 as Building Safety Month. And on behalf of our community, we express our appreciation to the Building Safety Department for their tireless effort to ensure the safety of all people in our city through fairness and effective enforcement of safety codes, given under our hand and seal of office this 30th day of April 2013, Mayor and City Commissioners. And I expect somebody wants to make a statement. We can hope.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. That wasn't called for, but I know that this staff works incredibly hard for the city. I know that the city has an awful lot of good staff. I can tell you I'm very proud of this staff, and I think that they are the most dedicated and hardest working staff that the city has. We easily recognize our first responders. What we fail to realize is our first preventers. And this before you is our first preventers. They're here, that first line of defense, and those things that we take for granted where we live, work, play, and worship, that they're safe and comfortable in an inviting environment. We look to build a structure that's going to withstand storms and harbor us from harm. And it's this crew that does that, and I'm thankful and blessed to have them. And the city of Amarillo and its citizens are blessed to have them. So, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
I had to put a water heater in on Saturday night. So one of you all went to my house today, I think, to inspect it. But I learned a whole lot more about the building code as we did that process. I got to tell you, I felt a lot better. I really did learn some things about why we need to be safer. And I appreciate all that you do for all of our citizens. 194,000 people's lives rest on your shoulders. You do us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think this might work. Everyone look this way real quick, please. Scott, maybe do this. One more, if you don't mind. This one may not work. Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all much. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
You guys have any stories on Scott, by the way?
They haven't
Send them to us.
They haven't done.
Send them to us. None.
Okay, do we have people representing the lodge today? If you would, just
Come on in too. You got
thank you all for being here. Whereas the Elks Lodges in the state of Texas will observe May 1st through the 7th as Elks National Youth Week in tribute to our junior citizens, honoring them for their achievements and contributions to the life of the community, state, and nation. And whereas observances will be held during that week in tribute to the junior citizens of our community. And whereas our junior citizens represent the nation's greatest resource, and in the years ahead will assume the responsibility for the advancement of our free society. And whereas it is our responsibility to guide, inspire, and encourage our youth to go forth and serve Amarillo and the nation, and our privilege to manifest a lively interest in all their activities and ambitions, and help prepare them for the duties and opportunities of citizenship, which is the objective of Elks National Youth Week. Now, therefore, we, Mayor and City Commissioners of the City of Amarillo, Texas, do proclaim the week of May 1st through the 7th, 2013, as Elks National Youth Week, and call upon all citizens to cooperate in the observance that we may attain these worthy objectives, given under our hands and seals of office this 30th day of April 2013. Who is going to accept this? And would you like to say a few words, ma'am? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Amarillo Life Lodge and our youth, we have a couple of them here with us today. I thank you, the mayor and commission, for doing this for us. We appreciate it. We work hard, and we want to get these guys up here and get them used to all of this stuff. Used to all the pomp and circumstances. This is Destiny Davis, and this is Landry Fletcher. These are two of our youth. Destiny has been a very good, very faithful volunteer for our veterans program. It's like they go with them once a month, and she goes out and helps them find their cards and numbers and so forth. Landry volunteers for everything, whatever we need to do, and he also takes good care of our youth for our new room for the youth. So we're very proud of them.
That's great.
I see my crowd in the back. Everybody who is with the CBC, who encourages tourism and takes care of the visitors to our city, please come forward.
Yeah, be sure and vote on your way out.
While you're here,
vote. Right there.
right there. Thanks, Bill. Y'all want me to vote? You're going to go right into this, aren't you? Okay, good. Let me read the proclamation, okay? It says, whereas the travel and tourism industry continues to be one of the country's largest employers, overall adding jobs faster than any other sector of the American economy, in Texas, the return on investment for every dollar spent is $7. And whereas in 2012, Amarillo hosted more than 1.9 million visitors from all over the world, with an estimated direct economic impact of $335 million. And whereas now more than ever, travel and tourism in Amarillo remains an essential factor in providing revenue for the city and enhances the quality of life for the people that live here currently and those who will in the future. Now, therefore, we, Mayor and City Commissioners of the City of Amarillo, Texas, in support of National Tourism Week, do hereby proclaim this week and also May as Amarillo Tourism Week and urge the appropriate recognition thereby of encouraging all Amarillo citizens to consider the economic benefit tourism bestows on our city and be reminded that tourism is everyone's business. This is given under our hands and seal of oath on this day, the April 30th, 2013, by the City of Amarillo. So who wants to speak? Dan? How did I know that?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, and I was able to update them on the figures, and I'm so glad that they're much larger than in 2011. Direct spending by tourism, by tourists in Amarillo was over $760 million. This is also one of those rare areas where each person in here can be involved. Whether you're just bringing your relatives in to visit and then going out to some of our attractions or that, then you're involved. If you belong to different associations and want to help bring those associations back into Amarillo to meet, that's how you can also be involved in economic development in a smaller way, but it's really big business. And we appreciate everything that Amarillo does to keep shining like that and keeping clean and with building safety, for example. They're critical for us to make sure everything is safe for those folks. And we're just very, very proud to be able to represent you around the nation, around the world. So thank you very much.
really echo what Dan said. I am so proud of the group on the chamber side that are involved in the Convention Visitors Council of the chamber. They get paid each day to bring tourists, to bring people to stay and spend money in our city. But it is absolutely the responsibility of every citizen of Amarillo to get people to come here, whether, like Dan said, a relative. It might be a group that you're a member of that can hold a convention here. We want to hear from you at the Amarillo Chamber and get the opportunities to bid on these conventions and bring these people to our fine city. Remember, it's one of our highest employers in the city when you take the tourism industry. So please support us, and thank you very much for today. Thank you.
Squeeze arms. Squeeze arms. Good afternoon and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Amarillo City Commission held on the third floor of City Hall this Tuesday at 3 p.m. The first item of business on today's agenda is the minutes. Attached is a copy of the minutes regarding the meeting of April 23rd. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Not entertain a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would move for approval of the minutes as presented.
I second that motion.
A motion and a second for the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Ordinance number 7405. This is the first reading of an ordinance changing the zoning of a 35.02 acre tract of unplatted land in section 231 block 2 ABNM survey, Randall County, in the vicinity of Farmers Avenue and City View Drive from agricultural district to residential district 2. It's recommended for approval by a 6-0 vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission. See that item up on the screen? Any questions about this item from the audience or from the commission? Not entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of the first reading of ordinance number 7405.
Second. Motion and a second for ordinance number 7405. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Ordinance number 7404. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance amending the Amarillo Municipal Code, Chapter 2-8, Article 4, Section 2-8-113 to increase the warrant fee from $25 to $50. This amendment updates the ordinance to match the approval of fiscal year 2012-2013 municipal budget. Is there any discussion either of this item by the audience, by the commission? Not, I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 7404.
I second.
A motion and a second for ordinance number 7404. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Resolution calling for a public hearing to determine whether certain conditions described herein constitute public nuisance at the location stated. This resolution sets a date and time for a public hearing to determine if this property constitutes a public nuisance and thereby declared as dangerous structure. A copy of the resolution will be mailed to the interested parties, providing 10 days' notice of public hearing. And we want to go over that one, and all this up on the screen. Are there any questions about that?
Excuse me, Mayor. No, I don't believe there are. The date of that hearing would be May the 28th, as contained within the resolution.
May 28th. Any other questions from the audience or from the commission?
Mayor, I move that we approve the resolution calling for a public hearing to determine whether certain conditions described constitute a public nuisance for the property at 313 Southeast 22nd Street on May 28th at 3 o'clock right now.
Okay, we have, a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Resolution public hearing. This resolution conducts a public hearing on and considers order of removal for a substandard structure located at 308 North Lincoln Street. Get that here. Okay, we're conducting an evidentiary hearing on nuisance property, and we will now conduct a hearing to determine if certain property constitutes a nuisance by virtue of dangerous structure and accumulation of weed, trash, and junk, or a combination of these. Pursuant to city ordinance, the mayor will make a determination as to the procedural and evidentiary questions. I will now call the case involving 308 North Lincoln Street. Owner Princeton Commercial Holdings LLC, substandard structure and accumulation of junk and debris. All persons who may desire to speak or give evidence on this matter, please stand and raise your right hand. Now, do each of you solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Ms. McDonald, then would you go ahead and present your case?
The two structures located at 308 North Lincoln are wood framing, masonry veneer construction on a pier and beam foundation system. Unit A is a 6-unit apartment structure. Unit B is a single-family residential structure. Unit A has been vacant since July of 2011. Unit B since September 2011. Excuse me. Many of the doors and windows have been removed or broken. Even though the majority of the doors and windows have been boarded up, vagrants continue to gain access to the interior. The stone facade on both structures is cracked and separating from the buildings. The interior has been vandalized and many of the major components have been stripped. The structures have been tagged with graffiti. The sidewalks are deteriorated, buckled, and cause a trip hazard. There's been no recent attempt by the owner or owners to repair or abate these hazards. The property is not only a nuisance to the community, it presents multiple hazards for the neighbors, creates an unsafe environment, and is dangerous. Demolition is recommended. The beginning date for this file was January of 2013. Prior to that, we've had a number of complaints with the property and have had some contact. The initial notice of a dangerous structure was sent via certified mail to Princeton Commercial Holdings, LLC, on March 12, 2013. It was delivered on March 18, 2013. Notice of the public hearing was sent via certified mail to Princeton Commercial Holdings on April 10, 2013, delivered April 15, 2013. We also posted a notice of condemnation hearing placard on site on April the 10th, 2013. On April 21st of 2011, the previous owner had a plumber obtain permit to repair the drain line to a sink in Unit B. There was a number of additional items that were performed, construction work performed without permit on the plumbing and electrical in both structures. Building safety has had no recent permit activity on the structures. In December of 2012, the current owner, Princeton Commercial Holdings LLC, sent a scope of work to secure, rehabilitate, and maintain the property. The property was partially secured. No other work was performed. As of today, I was contacted by a Quentin King, which is corporate counsel for the holdings company, Princeton Commercial Holdings, and was asking questions as far as the process and appealing the process. They had provided or has pertained the services of Larry Brooks to perform a structural analysis of the property in my conversation with their counsel, indicated that we would need to have the scope of work, the estimates for work to be performed, and that work would have to be performed in the next 60 days, and we'd have to have some sort of confirmation of financial means to perform that work prior to the 3 o'clock meeting. Both verbally and in writing corresponded with their counsel and informed him of the meeting, which he was aware of as of apparently yesterday. I have not heard back from him since those conversations this morning. There are taxes due on the property. Current taxes are $897.55 for 2012, no delinquent taxes. There has been no water service to the property since July 19th of 2011 for Unit A and September 20th of 2011 for Unit B. Over the last 2 years, this property has been maintained by a city contractor. April 20th of 2012, we mowed. July 26th of 2012, mow and trash removal. December 14th, 2012, mow and trash removal. There is currently a $291.40 bill owed to the city against this property. This is the file and the business record that we created and maintained in the ordinary course of business in the Department of Building Safety. The contents were made by or at the direction of a person with personal knowledge thereof. At or about the time of the events or the conditions reflected therein. The photographs in this file accurately portray what they represent. I tender it to you as evidence in this matter and for the purposes of this hearing. However, because this is the original and active file, I request to substitute the electronic version of this file. Such electronic copy is an exact duplicate of the original file that has been secured on the city's IT network under Hummingbird number 2121920. Can I approach?
Yes, thank you, Mr. McDonald. The original file is admitted to the record of this hearing, and substitution of the electronic record is allowed for all other purposes, including appeals. Commissioners, you may now examine the original file and ask questions. Mr. McDonald, did you say that the 2 years worth of cleanup was $291.40?
There's currently $291. That's unpaid.
Unpaid. Had some been paid? It sounds like that.
Correct, yes.
So that's a total of the city of more than $1,000, including the back taxes.
That would be correct.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, we'll now hear from persons with a legal interest. Thank you. We'll hear from people with a legal interest in the property who have sent notice of this hearing. If such persons now fail, refuse, or neglect to appear, they are deemed to have admitted liability for the defects and violations as stated in the initial notice. Is there an owner, occupant, or lien holder of this property present who wants to present pertinent information or to question the building official? Is there anyone here now that did not rise earlier? Now, is there any neighbor here or anyone else who would desire to speak about this property? Does the building official have any other further information?
No, sir.
Are there any comments or questions from the commission before we proceed? The hearing of the evidence is now closed. Commissioners, we must now publicly deliberate our decision. We must weigh the following factors: the validity of alleged violations, the severity of such violations, and any corresponding danger to the public. Also, take due regard of private property rights of the owner, fair opportunity for a legally interested person to have been notified of the problems and opportunities for repair, remediate, or removal of dangerous structure, or the accumulation of excess vegetation, junk, and debris. We may also weigh the private property interests of any neighbors who have been affected or any further delay in deterioration of the subject property. Finally, we may consider any other relevant factor that is unique to the circumstances of this case. Is there any deliberation anyone would like to make at this point?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I would move that this commission now finds that public nuisance exists and has not been timely abated, and now issues the following order. The item, finding the structure or any other improvement of any kind or any part thereof is dangerous, and ordering its removal 10 days after notice of this decision.
Okay. Is there any need for the other item too? Is it okay? Okay. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that passes with a 5-0 vote. This matter is now concluded. The city manager is directed to take all steps necessary to inform the interested parties of the outcome of this hearing, their appeal rights, and to implement the resolution. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Okay. Next item is number 6, public hearing, proposed annexation. This is to conduct a public hearing of a proposed annexation of 2.48 acres of tract of land in the vicinity of Georgia Street, Farmers Avenue. First reading of the ordinance authorizes the annexation proceedings. They will be held on June 4th, 2013. This was approved by a 6-0 vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission. This item is up on the boards. Is there any questions about this item from, or is there anyone that would like to make a comment in this public hearing? Any one of the commissioners? Not, I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of the public hearing for the proposed annexation as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Consent agenda. It's recommended the following items be approved and the city manager be authorized to execute all documents necessary for each transaction. A is the approval of the 2013 Summer Food Service Program and food service contract with Amarillo Independent School District. B is the approval of aviation clear zone easements. I believe that's it. Is there any item that needs to be removed for separate consideration by the commission? If not, I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move we accept the consent agenda as outlined.
And I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the audience on consent agenda items? From the commission? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Okay, this concludes the agenda for the regular scheduled meeting of the Amarillo City Commission. We will move back to executive session when this part of the meeting is over. It's ever customary at this time to allow citizens of the community with matters not on the agenda today pertaining to city policies, programs, and services to speak to the commission. And the floor is now open for such comment. If anyone would like to come forward, we invite you. If not, we appreciate your attendance today, and we'll move back to the executive session. Thank you.